Welcome back, everyone. We're back with another CC Football Podcast episode. And Clay appears to have brought a cold to the episode today. How are you feeling, Clay?
I'm feeling a bit under the weather, but we're gonna power through, and it's gonna be a great episode regardless.
And you have something to be excited for tomorrow, which is the Liverpool Manchester United game. Hence my background. A little clash between Roy Keane and Stevie G.
Yeah, and my background, if you guys are watching on YouTube, which is just CC Football Podcast, give us a little subscription, is a little flashback from the last two games versus City in the past week. So a little bit of a, what is it called? Story of two tales or whatever. Something like that's a saying like that, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so we have we mentioned this actually last episode, the Who Are Ya? And so we actually have already done today's, but we rewinded to the first day's Who Are Ya, which is basically a Wordle, but for soccer or for football. And yeah, so this is one that we haven't done before, and it's going to be awesome.
Let's do it.
So there's two modes you can do, hide or show photo. We've been doing hide photo just to make it even a little bit more challenging. So I think we should keep it like that. Craig, who's your usual first guess? I always guess Jordan Anderson because he's like from a prominent nation and a prominent league, and he is in the middle of age in terms of the spectrum,
Yeah, I have similar thought process. My secret first guess that won't be secret anymore after this is Ruben Neves, because similar logic. He's midfielder. He's in the Prem, because I know a lot of Prem players, but he's like 25 years old, and a lot of Portuguese players as well. So
yeah, okay, I like that. We'll go with Neves. So you can see here, if you're watching on YouTube, it shows the nationality, league, team, position, and age. And if you get the nationality right, then it'll be green, obviously. League right, it'll be green. Team right, it'll be green. Midfielder right, it'll be green. And then age, it shows up or down. And so we got all of them wrong, and the age is older. So we know that it's going to be in either the French league, the Spanish league, German league, or Italian league. So now we're thinking about either forwards, defenders, or goalkeepers that are a little bit older than 25 in one of those leagues. So one that comes to my mind, I guess, would be, I don't know, Busquets is a
midfielder.
Yeah. We could go with like PK. Let's go PK. Oh, wow.
Whoa, I thought we had it for a second.
Yeah. So, okay. So we got Spanish correct, La Liga correct, and Barcelona correct. So that's huge. And we know that he's younger than 35, and we know he's not a defender. So he's either a forward or
a goalkeeper.
That's Spanish and on Barcelona. I'm trying to think of the Spanish forwards on Barcelona. It's either Ferran Torres, and I don't think he's older than 25.
Yeah, he is. I think he's like 27 or something.
Ferran Torres?
I think so.
Okay, or Adama. Adama's Spanish.
Oh, Adama's a good shout.
Yeah, and I don't think that Barcelona has a Spanish keeper because they have Ter Stegen and Neto, who's Brazilian.
Okay, go with Adama. I feel like Ferran Torres is like 27. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, Adama's a good shout. He's definitely older than 25, right?
All right, we'll go with Adama. Hey!
Wow, let's go.
Nice. All right, that was pretty good. 3 tries. You get 8 tries, just like the regular Wordle. But yeah, so that was your preview of the Who Are Ya? So you guys can check that out. It comes out at midnight each night, just like the regular one.
Ferran Torres is 22. Man, I thought he was way
older. He's pretty young.
Jeez. Yeah, that's on me. Good thing we went with Adama.
All right. Let's kick it off here. Craig, where are we going to start?
We are going to start with United today, because we've been talking a lot about Liverpool recently, because we should be, because they're in a title race, and United's not got much going on. But they finally had a good result go their way this weekend against the mighty Canaries.
Mighty Canaries. Yeah. They're so fierce.
Well, first of all, what were your thoughts on that game?
Did
you watch it?
I didn't watch it because I was watching the Liverpool game
Okay.
simultaneously, but I watched the highlights and I've consumed all of the media surrounding the game and stuff.
Okay.
And I think what a lot of the narrative is that they're focusing on the brilliance of Ronaldo in that game, which is very fair. And I think that it's incredible that he scored a hat trick at 37 years old, his second
Yeah.
one of the year. But the thing that stands out to me is that United needed a hat trick from Ronaldo to beat the team that's in last place in the league right now, right? I think they're in last place.
Yeah.
Um, and that just kind of speaks to me with like the overall, I don't know, state of United and the fact that really just him and De Gea have been the team's like best performers this year. But it's a good result for United. It opens the door for them to maybe squeak in the top four, especially given the fact that Arsenal and Tottenham and West Ham all dropped points this weekend.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, it's really obviously offensively we're happy because Ronaldo got a hat trick, even though not many of the other players looked that good offensively. Pretty much Ronaldo and De Gea were the only ones that turned up to the game. Really, Elanga had some good moments. But yeah, I mean, you look at that. It's all about the defense for me. That's so worrying because you look at that back line, and it's Dalot, Maguire, Lindelof, and Tellez, and that just does not fill you with confidence at all.
Right.
Um, I mean, if Varane was in there, you'd feel a lot better. If Maguire was not in there, you'd feel a lot better right now. Um, you even our fullbacks, I like Dalot and I like Tellez, but the alternatives, Luke Shaw and Wan-Bissaka, are both much better defensively than Luke Shaw is much better defensively than Tellez, and Wan-Bissaka is much better defensively than Dalot. And none of them, like Wan-Bissaka or Shaw, have not been good this season. So I understand why they're not playing. But the point is that there's not one player in there who you're really confident about. Okay, he at least can hold down the back line. Lindelof hasn't even played this season really because Maguire and Varane have been playing. So it's very scary. And you could see with the Norwich game, I mean, we got scored on twice by Norwich. And both goals were very defensively suspect. And we would have probably gotten scored on more if not for De Gea, who had a couple of really good saves, as he has had pretty much every single game this season. So
Yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
go ahead.
Norwich had actually outperformed United in terms of XG. So it was 1.57 to 1.42. So that just kind of speaks to the whole, I guess the state of that game and the shambolic defending, but like the not steady Manchester United backline.
Yeah, exactly. And Varane, I think he's not going to be there for the Liverpool game either. I think he's out for the Liverpool game, which is tomorrow. So that's really worrying because we're probably going to have pretty much the same back line. And I mean, against Liverpool's forwards and Liverpool's attack, that's very, very scary. I think De Gea is going to do a lot of work tomorrow. But yeah, I'm very happy for Ronaldo. And in general, I think we just have to be. What are you doing, Clay? Wandering around.
I'm trying to find my iPad because I downloaded this app that you can like show the average positions for everybody, and I seem to have misplaced it. I'm not sure where it went.
Okay, you keep looking for it. I'll keep talking.
Okay.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, the United versus Norwich, Ronaldo's performance, and I think in general, even though the team performance wasn't good, and United fans can't be that happy with the team's performance as a whole, I think we can't really dwell on it too much. We have to, I mean, at least me as a United fan, I'll take what I get at this point, and that's a huge result. The results are all that matter to me now, because the performances don't matter because I know that in a few games we're going to have a new coach, hopefully an actual reset this time. Ten Hag is 99% coming in, even though it hasn't been announced yet. Hopefully we get some new players. We'll reset the club. So the performances don't bother me because they have no impact on the future. It's just the results that matter. And to get a big win like that when Arsenal and Tottenham both dropped points and lost is huge because now, I mean, I still don't have much hope. I almost don't have any hope, but at least United are back in the race now, thanks to Arsenal and Tottenham. United are what? I think 3 points behind Tottenham or something and tied with Arsenal, but Arsenal have a game in hand. So, I mean, all three of them are in it. I would still say Arsenal and Tottenham have a better chance, but Arsenal have not looked good at all since the international break.
They've been shambolic.
Yeah. And, Tottenham, I guess, up and down. So United do have a good chance here. well, that's not true. United do have a chance here because of that result, and so I'm gonna be happy. I'm not gonna complain too much. Um, I now what I will be excited about is if tomorrow we go and beat Liverpool somehow. Now then I might start getting a small sliver of hope. Say, okay, if we can get that big result, which is huge, especially if Arsenal or Tottenham drop points again, then now all of a sudden I'm thinking, okay, maybe we can do this because the confidence will be huge. Then we'll have to play Arsenal. And if we beat Arsenal, then that'll pretty much put them out of the race. And so I'm not having hope yet, but after tomorrow's game, I might if United pull off a result. But what are your thoughts on tomorrow's game? How do you think Liverpool should approach the game? Who do you think? Do you have any players you think need to play? What should the tactics be?
Yeah, I guess I think we can maybe go to preview this game now, the Manchester United versus Liverpool one. That's huge game tomorrow, not only in terms of history, but in terms of the consequences for both teams that they're fighting for something still in their season. I think for Liverpool, from their perspective, they have to kind of just approach this as another but business as usual game, which is at this point in their season, almost every single game is one that they must win, whether that's in they're trying to progress in the FA Cup, if they're trying to secure their Champions League semifinal appearance or their final appearance, or if they're trying to keep the pressure on City and try to win the Premier League. And this game, I think with that, they're going to try to, I mean, honestly, I don't think that Klopp game to game really changes his tactics too much. He plays the way Liverpool plays, and then he forces the other team to react to the way that we play, which is usually effective considering that in most games, and I would consider the United game in this circumstance one of those games where it's effective because Liverpool usually possess more quality than any other team that they're playing against. So I think that they should come out. The game's at Anfield, which should be another, I guess, an advantage for Liverpool, and that they should try to take the game to United and try to expose that back line that you just said was pretty shaky versus Norwich. So that means that Liverpool should be able to expose them even more. With that being said, I'm not sure what's going to happen. It's another one of those big games where anything can happen. I think that Varane's still going to be out, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So Varane's going to miss. One thing that I noticed, I wanted to hear your thoughts on this, is Lingard got this surprise start versus Norwich. And I guess that might have been kind of Rangnick's hand was forced through the injuries and stuff, but like, what were your thoughts on that? How would you set up United? Which is more of my question, because I think that Liverpool, no matter who they play out in the front three, whether that's it's going to be some combination of Salah, Mane, Firmino, Jota, and Diaz. No matter who Klopp picks, Liverpool is still going to play the same way. No matter who he picks in the midfield, they're still going to play the same way. But how would you set up United if you're trying to gain maximum points from this game?
Yeah, so addressing the Lingard thing first. I mean, Fred's injured, McTominay is injured. There wasn't much more option. I guess he didn't want to start Matic against Norwich. He wanted to go more attacking, which I'm glad that he did. So Bruno, Pogba, Lingard. I guess that was kind of his thought process behind it, and it makes sense. So I'm fine with that. I don't know what the availabilities are going to be for tomorrow's game. I doubt they're much better. So I'm going to assume we're working with the same players that we were working with for the Norwich game. And honestly, I would probably have a very, very similar lineup. In fact, I think I would have the exact same lineup, except I would switch out Lingard for Matic, because now we're not playing Norwich, we're playing Liverpool, and we need to have an actual defensive midfielder to shore up that back line. I would even consider, I think Luke Shaw's still going to be out, but I would consider bringing in Wan-Bissaka for Diogo Dalot, because we're going to need that defensive stability, no matter who's playing on that Liverpool left-hand side. And yeah, so so those would be the two changes I would make. So my lineup would be De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Lindelof. I mean, Eric Bailly is fit, and honestly, he won't, especially in such a big game, just throw him in. But I would consider giving him the start. I would start him over Maguire, actually, but
Really,
maybe I'm being crazy. I just want to, see.
You've just been riding Maguire or anti-Maguire, I guess you could say,
Well,
for
that's the
the
thing.
last long
I'm not
time.
because he's not performing. I'm
Yeah,
not like the one of those anti fans who's like he sucks and he should never have been playing at this level. But blah blah blah. Because I think he can be playing at this level. He was one of the best defenders in the Euros. He was one of England's best players in the Euros. Um, so I know he can be good. So I'm not like anti him. But right now, I don't think any player who's not playing well should be getting just automatically written into the team and playing 90 minutes, especially if he's been that bad and conceding that many goals and now injuring our own players like he has been doing. It's just not going well for him at the moment. Whether it's sometimes unlucky and sometimes just he's just being bad. So
right.
we need something to change defensively. I don't know. I would consider, but maybe I'm being too crazy with that. So that's fine. But so let's assume Maguire starts. So Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Lindelof, Tellez, Pogba, Bruno, Matic, Elanga, Ronaldo, Sancho, I think is very good. So typically I would have considered Rashford because we might need an outlet against Liverpool if we're under pressure. But
Right.
Elanga does give us that outlet because he's really, really fast. And I can't drop Sancho or Ronaldo. So I mean Bruno, by that same logic, by the way, Bruno's not been great. He's been the last few games, he's not been putting in great performances. And I think anyone who's not putting great performance should be considered being dropped. The problem is we don't have anyone to drop him for. And it's a big game, and he's been a big game player for United. So that's why he stays in.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the biggest question right now is for United is in that midfield, and that's kind of been one that has been a question mark of all throughout this whole year and even last year with Ole. When you say that, okay, you obviously you're in terms of quality, your two best midfielders are Bruno and Pogba, but it's kind of been proven time and time again that they struggle a lot of times to play together. In this game, in the Norwich game, you can see here that like Pogba was playing the holding midfielder role instead of Fred or McTominay or Matic. And as I said, that might have been forced more through the I guess the
Availability.
injuries. Yeah, so Ragnick had really no choice but to choose Pogba for that spot. Um, but it'll be interesting to see if one of those actual more natural defensive midfielders is fit for the game, or if it's going to be another one of trying to see if Pogba can hold down the fort in the midfield.
Yeah, I don't think they can afford to have Pogba as the only defensive player in the midfield against Liverpool because we can't. What we can't do is lose, which obviously that's the highest percentage that is going to happen. But yeah, we can't lose, and we have to make sure Liverpool don't score. So I think we need to have Matic.
Yeah.
But
So if what would your prediction be for this game?
yeah, what are my odds looking like?
The odds here is to win. It's plus 550.
Yikes. Wait. Plus five. How does that? What does that mean? You
So
mean
that
tell
means
me
if
how
you
odds
bet
work?
100, you win 550.
Okay, that's what I thought. So it's not looking good.
It's not looking
Um,
good. Liverpool are
even
pretty strong favorites.
even
Have
the
you?
draw is plus 425.
Yeah.
Jeez. Wow. Um, I okay. I'll tell you this. I think Liverpool are gonna win. I'm gonna predict the draw. Or sorry, I hope United are gonna win. I'm gonna predict the draw, and in reality, Liverpool are gonna win. So that's what's gonna happen. But I'll predict like a 2-2 draw, just like Liverpool City.
Yeah. I'm gonna go 3-1. Maybe. I just think that Liverpool are gonna handle them. Hopefully. I mean, it's gonna be a great game, and we'll tune in tomorrow and see. I'm gonna vote for Liverpool here. Yeah. So 58% of everyone thinks that Liverpool is gonna win, and only 11% thinks it's gonna be a draw, and 31% thinks that United will win. So it's it's gonna be a
Here's what I'll
interesting
say: you never know
dilemma
what can
for
happen
Ralph. Yeah, you never know.
In a Liverpool United game, and that's the thing. So Liverpool, their next couple games. I mean, I fully expect them to win both of these games, but their next two games are Man United and Everton, which are their two biggest historic rivalries in the Premier League. So both of those teams should be pretty easy wins for Liverpool, but because they're like such big rivalry derby games,
You
you
never
just don't
know.
know what can
Right.
happen.
Right. And exactly. And that's the thing where I guess we can kind of segue this into talking about the Champions League results from
Yeah,
the midweek. But this is the kind of set of like, I guess, match fatigue that kind of wears on teams where you have so many big games back to back to back, especially when you're playing on the weekend and in the midweek every single week for many months in a row. So Liverpool had City last weekend, and then they had the second leg of their
Well,
quarterfinal
before that, they had the first
Champions
leg of
League.
their quarterfinal.
Right. And then so they had the first leg of quarterfinal, then they had City, and then they had their second leg, and then they had City again, and now they're having Manchester United, and then they're having Everton. Like that's a brutal stretch of
And then they
games
have
that
Villarreal next Wednesday.
right.
Again.
Yeah, exactly. To the first leg of the semifinal. And then I think they play Norwich or something.
And
Or maybe
Newcastle.
no, Newcastle, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just like a crazy stretch of games that it's tough to get up for every single one. And there's going to be a couple where they're not going to be at their best, And I think
Yeah.
that Liverpool have proven that they can win when they're not at their best. But man, it's a brutal road that they've managed to somehow get through pretty successfully so far. And it's just a matter of if they can sustain that throughout the next, I mean, until the end of the season, really.
Yeah. Like you said, they have to win. You said almost every game, but realistically, they have to win every single game that they play from here on out. And no game is easy. Even Newcastle, you're not entirely sure what to expect with their newer team. And then you have Villarreal again right after Newcastle. And you follow that up with Tottenham, Villa, Chelsea. So with Chelsea's a final. So yeah, I mean, pretty much it's going to be a lot of midweek. Pretty much, yeah, every week is going to be midweek, weekend, and every single game is a must win for Liverpool. For most
Yeah,
teams, actually, at this point, towards the top and bottom of the Premier League table, except in the middle, those teams don't matter. But top and bottom, yeah, every team has to win every single game. For Liverpool, they really have to because there's trophies on the line.
definitely. All right. So do you want to hop to the Champions League games? I was kind of trying to segue this into saying how City are kind of seeing that fatigue also when they had to travel to Spain and play Atleti in midweek, and then they came back to Wembley and they were forced. I guess Pep claims that so they played a weaker side than their first choice 11,
Yeah,
in the FA Cup because they had so much fatigue from the Atleti game and the Liverpool game prior to that. So, I guess let's start. Yeah, let's start there at the City versus Atleti game, and man, that was a ugly one, but it was so crazy,
man. And that's box office entertainment right there, which you always get when Atletico Madrid are involved in a game.
Oh yeah,
always. I loved it because here's why I loved it. I always love when Atletico are playing a game, especially against English teams, because they have Simeone and all their players, and the whole mentality of the club is basically one that just completely frustrates the opponent out of their minds. And we've seen that with Liverpool, we've seen that with City, we've seen that with United, we've seen that with every time an English team plays Atletico or any team plays Atletico in the Champions League. Their whole style of play, the way that the way they sit back and defend, the little niggly fouls, the diving, the time wasting, and I love it. I'm here for all of it because it's just so funny to see. Even when it was United, it's so funny to see how easy it is for them to just completely get in the other team's mind and throw them off their game because they get so angry and frustrated.
And it almost worked.
Exactly. And so the reason that I like this game, which was just as entertaining, because it was the same, but it was actually flipped because Atletico were the ones who had to press for the first time and City were the ones defending. I think City surprised everyone, especially Atletico, by playing their style of football, and they defended like Atletico would have, and they did the time wasting, they did the diving,
especially in the second half. If you look at this graph here in the middle of the screen, this is showing the momentum on both sides. So in the first half, you can see it's pretty much all blue, which is all Manchester City. But in the second half, it's basically all green. So Atleti really went for it at the end, and especially, I mean, they had a couple really good looks in stoppage time or not at time. And I think that they could have equalized, and it was really close. And I'm not really sure exactly what would have happened because at that point they were a man down because they had scrapped the game up so much that they earned themselves a red card.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that City flipped the script on Atletico and played Atletico style of football against them. They
Yeah.
defended. They were scrappy. They were diving. They were wasting time. And the Atletico players lost their cool. So it was just funny to see the flip being script because the Atletico players couldn't handle it, and they got very frustrated and passionate, like teams usually do against them. It resulted in a red card for them. It resulted in the game being scrappy. And like the last 10 to 15 minutes of football, realistically, there was only like 2 minutes of actual football that was played. So I thought it was amazing entertainment. Very, very fun to watch. City came away with the draw. Yeah, what are your thoughts on, by the way, Clay, Atletico's president or whatever, coming out after the game and trying to blast City for playing some, what do you call it, like anti-football or something like
Yeah,
that, because they
I
were
thought it was pretty ironic. It's kind of like the pot calling the kettle black because they literally do that stuff all the time.
yeah.
Um, I think that those guys just love saying things that they know will make other people mad, and that's what motivates them. You know, so they'll do anything to get the other side riled up and mad at them, and then they'll use that as a motivation to do it even more. Uh, in the end, I think that the better team progressed in this stage,
Yeah.
even though it was really close. And I mean, that's why I'm saying that they're a team that you don't want to draw in any sort of cup tie because they'll find a way to keep it close and then give themselves a chance at the end. Uh, but yeah, so now that will set up for a very, very, very enticing Real Madrid versus Manchester City semifinal, because in another even crazier game,
Oh yeah.
Real Madrid. Oh my God, what a game! Is
The
this the right
Madrid
one?
Chelsea game.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one
Oh
was
wow.
nuts.
So this was probably the best I've seen Chelsea play in a very long time.
Oh yeah.
They
Definitely.
came out and they were going for it, right? They were up and ready to go. But yeah, so they were up 3-0 on and 3-2 on aggregate, I think, right?
Yeah, because going into this game, no one. I mean, we wrote off Chelsea. Well, not 3-2 because Madrid won 3-1 the first leg, right?
All right, right. So it
Um,
was 4-3 on aggregate.
yeah.
Right.
So here's the thing: we all came into this game. Most people, like we predicted, Madrid would go through, and we weren't actually that worried about it. And I don't think most people were that worried. I don't think Madrid would have been that worried about it. And Chelsea's odds would not have been very high. But like you said, they came in and they were up 3-0. And some could argue they could have been up 4-0 because of Kovacic's goal ruled out for a handball, which is, I mean, I know it's a rule or whatever, but it's very soft ruling out. So then it was in their court.
Yeah. I it was a great performance by Chelsea that was spoiled by their terrible performance in the first leg, or
Yeah. It wasn't a terrible
poor,
performance.
yeah, I guess that
Not taking advantage of their opportunity.
their lack of result from the first leg, which could have been attributed more or less to the almost individual brilliance of Benzema, uh, who gave them that 2-goal cushion, which they really needed, and then another individual moment of brilliance by Luka Modric with that pass to set up Rodrigo for the equalizer. That was
Yep.
Oh my God, that was one of the best passes I've ever seen, I think.
Unbelievable.
And so that set up for extra time, and then it had to be Benzema to score the winner.
Yeah.
I think Chelsea could feel hard done by in this one, especially when you consider the how much they outperformed Madrid in this game. And Madrid weren't convincing, but they were good enough, and they had enough individual moments of brilliance to get through.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, because Madrid they have at any performance, they have Benzema, they have Modric, they have Cruz, they have Casemiro, they have Vinicius, they have Courtois in goal. They have so many players who, like you said, not only do they have that individual brilliance, but Chelsea also do have a lot of individual brilliance, but the Madrid players also have the experience of World Cups, of Euros, of Champions League, of trophies, of La Ligas. Like they've won it all.
Yeah.
That's on their side. And so, yeah, like you said, it was man, what a game. And it had to be Benzema, as you said at the end. Vinicius he didn't do a thing the rest of the game because Reece James shut him down. He got through one time and he made it count by putting it across perfectly onto Benzema's head. But Chelsea really only have themselves to blame because, like you said, they played well in both legs and they missed chances in both legs, especially in the first leg. So, the first leg should not have been 3-1 if they had finished their chances, and then they would have gone through with this game. So they didn't. Madrid are through. So now we get to see a Madrid City semifinal on the one hand, and we'll talk about the other semifinal in a second. So when you're thinking about that semifinal play, what we both, or no, you predicted Madrid winning this, and I predicted City winning this
Yeah.
because we did predict.
We predicted all 4 quarterfinals correctly.
Yeah, we did. We did. Very impressive. So what are you sticking with your prediction?
I'm so conflicted because here's my thought process. On one hand, you have Real Madrid, and when you watch their Champions League performances, even when they played PSG, I don't think they were like all too convincing in their performances, especially versus Chelsea. They didn't dominate like you would expect them. A team that is, they didn't show that their full. They didn't show their full potential. I don't think. And when you watch Manchester City play, they're a team that 9 days out of 10 they're going to dominate the game. But on the other hand, as I was just talking about, how City have such a fatigue and the fixture congestion, where every single game for them in the league is so important, that I could see them just being so worn out. But I think I'm actually going to switch my prediction and go with City. I think that just based on the eye test, they have been the better. They are the better team. It's pretty close if you look at them on the two teams on paper, but the way that Pep has Real Madrid playing, or
What?
Pep has City playing, I can see Real Madrid getting pinned back like they did in the Chelsea game, where Ancelotti set Madrid up very defensively and it didn't work out at all. And Real Madrid had a very tough time getting out of their own half. And I think that the same thing could come to fruition again versus City. But the issue is, I think that City won't let the individual moments of brilliance be the ones that beat them. So I think I'm gonna change my prediction and choose City to win. But it's gonna be a close game.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be definitely tight. I'll stick with City as well. Even, like you said, I think I am. I don't know. I'm what the City's performance against Atletico in that second leg showed me a lot, because you don't see City having to do that very often, and they were asked to do it by Pep, and they did do it,
and they proved that they can. Yeah,
exactly. So they proved that not only are they like this fluent attacking side, they have the defensive stability, they have the mentality, they have the grit, and they might need to do that against Madrid, because unlike Atletico, Madrid will have Benzema and Modric and Vinicius who can find a goal out of nowhere at the very end of the game in the 120th minute if it comes down to it. Just like they did, by the way, this weekend. Madrid again were down 2-0 to Sevilla and won 3-2 because of Benzema coming back and scoring a late winner. So they can do it, and he will do it. He'll try to do it against City. So City are going to need to have the same thing. It'll be close, but I'll stick with City because I predicted them to go through. So I'll stick with that.
Yeah, and looking at the other side of the bracket, Villarreal stunned Bayern Munich in a game that Bayern totally dominated, and then didn't capitalize on their chances, and so they only were up. They scored the equalizer. Then they were headed to extra time, and then in the dying moments of normal time, Villarreal had a great counterattack, one of their only counterattacks of the whole entire game, and scored a winner. So they're going to advance they advanced 2-1 on aggregate, and they're going to play Liverpool, who they advanced semi comfortably to versus Benfica. I think that they definitely had the luxury of playing a more rotated side versus Benfica, and they played pretty well. I think Benfica had a go at them, and especially early in the game, it looked like it could be a nervous one, but Liverpool handled it pretty comfortably.
Yeah, Villarreal, by the way, are only in the league to Champions League because they won the Europa League last year. They wouldn't have made it based on their standing last season. They wouldn't be in it based on their standing this season. They're 7th place in La Liga with 49 points, which is like 26 points off the top. So it's not that they're actually performing that well in the league, but it's the Unai Emery effect. Man, he's got them playing unbelievably when it comes to European football and European Cup games, which was last year. He won the Europa League, and they're still right in that conference. And they've taken down, by the way, Juventus and Bayern Munich. So
Yeah.
I hope. I mean, I don't think Klopp will be taking them lightly, but he definitely shouldn't if he is, because they've just taken down two giants. One of them was probably one of the favorites to win the Champions League at the beginning of the season, Bayern Munich. So Villarreal have shown that they can perform in Europe at a much higher level than they're performing in the league. They have a very experienced, very smart coach. They have good players, and they're not like daunted by big teams.
Yeah, I think that their run has been very commendable, especially as you said, when you consider the fact that they really haven't performed that well last year or this year and domestically.
Yeah.
But that being said, and if you consider the team that they've beaten, right? They've beaten two of the European giants on their way here. It's not like they had some easy path. But I think that their run is going to end here, and I think that we're setting up for another Liverpool versus City clash, and
I
it's
hope
really
so.
going to. It's going to. I mean, can you imagine if? So they met in the FA Cup semifinals. They met in the if they meet in the Champions League final, and if they go down to like the last day in the
Premier
Prem,
League. Yeah, that would be nuts.
that would be one of the craziest like two-headed seasons ever. And man, it's just gonna be such a great way to end it. Craig, did you watch the City versus Liverpool game last weekend?
City versus Liverpool game last. So not the cup game, but the Premier League game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
So what were you? Let's talk about that real quickly before we head out here. What were your thoughts on that game?
I think it was everything that everyone hoped it would be. Like, it literally was, and it was everything that I thought it would be, not just hoped it would be. Because I did predict a 2-2 draw.
Yep.
And I think you predicted something similar. Maybe you predicted like
I think I said 1-1, but
1-1
yeah,
or something. Yeah. Yeah. I think both teams showed how good of teams they were. It was not a case of like one team surprising the other, or one team playing better, or one team not showing up to the game. Both teams showed up. Every player showed up. Great game, great performance. It's a blockbuster matchup, and I think it's a fair score.
yeah, I agree. I think that I honestly think that maybe because I'm a Liverpool fan and so I'm pretty demanding of the performances that I know that we're capable of putting forth, and I'm used to seeing like Liverpool kind of dominate teams, and I'm happy with the draw in this game. I thought that one thing you cannot do is lose. They did not lose, even though based on the first half, I think that City could have been a couple goals up at halftime. They were only one goal up at half, and then Mane had a nice goal to equalize, I think, right after halftime. And so, yeah, it was just the pinnacle of English football. That game kind of was a great showcase of two of the best sides in the country, and then also two of the best sides in the world, what they can do when they're going head to head. I do think that a couple of Liverpool players kind of got played out of the game, especially Fabinho, who's kind of struggled a little bit, and so did Thiago struggled a little bit getting on the ball. So, but I think that was a large part due to De Bruyne, who was magnificent the whole entire game. Didn't put a foot wrong. That guy is just so class. You never hope for anybody to be injured and stuff, but I was definitely happy to see him not on the starting 11 when the FA Cup game was when the lineups for the FA Cup game were announced, because he's just one of those players that you do not want to play against because he's so good. But yeah, so I think that it was a great game, and I honestly think that we're going to see another one and an even higher stakes setting in the Champions League final.
I hope so. I can't there. I'm going to be happy regardless of who wins the Liverpool Villarreal game, because I mean, who wouldn't, except for Liverpool fans, who wouldn't be happy to see Villarreal make it through to the final? And if Liverpool win, then it's a Liverpool City final, and who wouldn't be happy to see that? So,
well, you're just chalking up Madrid like they're nothing, huh?
Who?
You?
Who? Real Madrid?
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying based off our predictions, we've predicted City
to
win.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's fair. Any other thoughts? I think that FA Cup game was kind of it was another good game. But Liverpool definitely played a lot better. I think that was especially due to the fact that they had the luxury of starting a stronger team than City did, just based on the travel and fixtures that they had to play and stuff. So, but it was also a good game to watch once again.
All right. Should we
All right,
finish up with this Sporkle?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
We're not sponsored by any of these ads, by the way.
Yeah, no free advertising.
Given a soccer club logo, can you pick in which city the club is based? I have no idea how difficult or how easy this is going to be because we didn't hit play quiz, so we don't know what the teams are going to be. But 4 minutes 20, 20 clubs. Let's see how we do, Clay. All right. Well, this is an.
All right, let's do it. Amsterdam, Ajax, Bayern Munich. So it's gonna be Munich, Manchester United, Manchester, Barcelona, LA,
This is LA
Galaxy,
right?
yeah, Los Angeles, Seattle Sounders, AC
That's in
Milan,
Milan. That's
Chelsea, so that's
London.
really London, Juventus, the Turin, Celtics, so
Celtics and
either Glasgow or
no, they're in Glasgow because right. It's
Yeah, I
Celtic
think-
and Rangers are both in Glasgow. Yeah.
okay, Rome, Dortmund. Oh, that's oh, okay. This is our first tricky one here.
What team is
So-
this?
I don't know.
Man, and of course they gave us 4 Greek cities. The
Yeah.
other ones for Chelsea they gave us or maybe they did give us 4 British cities, but
Can you press
Ooh.
next to go to the next one and then we can come back?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Marseille.
Marseille, Madrid, Liverpool, Wolverhampton, Leicester,
And Leicester and Paris.
Benfica.
It's in Lisbon, right? Well, this is the only Portuguese city on here, so
Yeah.
they have to be.
Yeah. Okay, so
Okay.
there's just one. So what team is that? Some Greek team.
Yeah, I think that is clear. It's a Greek team, but
I think it's does that look like Panthiakos?
why? Where are they from?
I don't know.
Oh, I thought you knew where they were from.
I was just saying it looks like Panthiakos, like on the
What, this?
like the letters.
That is true. It does look more like that than Olympiacos.
Uh
I have a feeling it's Thessaloniki. I don't know why.
okay, let's go for it.
But Athens.
This
seems
is
like
for the 100%. We've never gotten 100%
I know.
on a Sporkle before.
All the other ones have been really easy, and Athens would be the easy guess, though. That's why I'm.
Not all of them, like Leicester and Wolverhampton are like huge cities. We just know the teams.
That's true. Or it could be any of these. I don't know why I think it's Thessaloniki. I
All right.
don't know.
Let's go for it.
You think?
I'm going for Piraeus.
Okay, then let's go for that. What,
All right. Click
Okay,
it.
wait.
Click it.
So, what do you think the name is? Panathinaikos or whatever.
Yeah.
But the Pantheon, I don't know. That's what do you think we should go? You think we should go
I'm just thinking like the team is Panthiakos, and so
PP?
maybe like the P.
alliteration?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going alliteration.
No.
Athens. So what's the team?
I have no idea. Look it up.
Athens football teams. Oh, it is Panathinaikos.
Oh, okay. I was right. Look at that.
Well done. What do we know about Panathinaikos?
Nothing.
So the only reason what I was saying at the very end is I was saying it might be Athens because I don't know, kind of sounds like the Pantheon, Parthenon,
Oh yeah,
those
or like
Greek
Athens.
gods.
Athin could be like Athens. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't even know if that's right. I don't even know if that's part of it.
We're just
or
looking. We're
not.
just looking for. We're looking for ways. But yeah,
Yeah.
what is the meaning of it? Oh, it means of all Athens.
Yeah.
Oh no, we should have. Oh yeah, that's fine. Oh, it's so that is a dagger to the heart.
Yeah, well, we're still searching for our first 100% in
No,
the
we got
sport
one, I
circles.
think. Right?
We have?
I think we got one.
I don't remember one. I don't remember getting one before.
No, maybe not. Well, we'll wait on then.
We will wait on it. All right. Anything else from you, Craig? Or good
Nope.
luck tomorrow. Not too good luck though. I hope Liverpool makes it tidy.
All right. See you guys.
That was a terrible exit.
Okay, fine. We'll do it again. All right. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys.
There we go. See ya.